Guys, let's go ahead and jump right into this new video. I'm going to be showing you how to design your own little battle chip so you can actually print it out and put it on your battle chip you just created. So first thing I want to do is download this template. I should have a link in the description where you can download it. What it will have is, I'll go over them real quick, the options. There is standard Giga chip. I only have American ones, so you can get an official looking American one. See, it says Mega Man as opposed to this Rockman. Second one is a standard Mega chip with the chip capacity listed. Sorry, standard chip with the chip capacity listed. And let me move some over real quick. Alright. And the third option is a promotional standard chip for the Japanese release or whatever. It's a little bit askew, as you can see here. It doesn't line up perfectly, but you can still get the main image if you needed it. As you can see, it has a little tethered look. This is what it looks like out of the box. This isn't like any deterioration. Don't worry, we'll get into the instructions in just a second. This is going to be short. Then we have a Mega chip with a name. If you want, you can try to match the font. But I just gave you the option of a Mega chip with a name and no chip capacity. And then here we have a Navi chip. You can use this to base off your Navi chips off of if you're printing one, if you're making one of those. And then here we have a Japanese Mega chip. If you want to release a chip, if you want to print out a chip and have it make it look really cool. Of course, you'll have to get the katakana right over here, so that's something you'll have to do. And those are the main options we have. I added some extra ones over here. If you want to have a Mega chip with a chip capacity, you can do that right here. Again, a little bit got cut off. Not great, but still, you get most of it. And here is a standard chip with the actual name. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have Super Vulcan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this up here, since this is the best Mega chip I have, and we'll use the chip capacity from down there. Or I can use this one. Yeah, I'll use this American one. So what I need to do first is get a picture. The easiest way to do it is just go to the Mega Man Wiki. They have pictures of all the chips. Battle Network 4, I'll have a link to this in the description too. Let's go ahead and copy this. And then we're going to paste it in our image. Just highlight where you want to put it. And then it should paste right in when you press paste. Hold on 1 second. Control V. And as you can see, 1, it's not rotated correctly, and 2, it's really small. So here's what we're going to do. Is rotate this 90 degrees. Let me show you the rotate box. Oh yeah, for the software, for editing this, I suggest using GIMP. You can use Photoshop too if you know how to use it. But I'm going to use GIMP since I've been using that for a lot longer. Let's do 90. And if it doesn't show up, just push these buttons over here. Alright, rotate. And I did it the wrong way. Sorry about that. You want to do like that, I believe. The Vulcan facing to the right. Yep. Alright, so you want negative 90 degrees basically. Let's just do negative 90 and press enter, and it will take you here. Go ahead and click rotate. Now you want to scale that to the size of the actual battle chips box. So you can start it in the top left corner, or sorry, top right. Make sure you cover up everything except the black. Then click this thing down here. I'm going to set myself off of Steam so people stop messaging me. Or sorry, showing up. Alright, now you just go ahead and drag this. And if you have this thing, the chain linked like this, that means you'll only be able to directly scale. So make sure that chain is unbound before you start stretching too much. Then make sure you cover up your image perfectly. As you can see, there's a tiny bit of color down there. Just make sure we color that in. There's a tiny bit over there. If it's a little bit too big, that's okay. You just don't want it too small. Alright, go ahead and scale it. Alright, now as you can see, that stands out a little bit too much from our actual image. So what we're going to do is just first we're going to make it on a separate layer. So just press the new layer button right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sharpen it. So you go to filters and then enhance, sharpen. We're going to pump this up a little bit. I'd say around 40 should be good. Alright, that will make it look a little bit sharper so it's less blurry. And now we need to make it distorted a little bit because it looks a little bit too clear in contrast to the background. So what we're going to do is going to go to filters, distort, and then we're going to go to where is it? Oh, so we're going to do noise. and then RGB noise. See, that will give us a little bit of noise so it matches better with the rest of the thing. Alright, so I say use the same settings I have, 0.4, that will add just enough in to make it look a little bit distorted. There you go. You may say, like, but that makes it look more messy. Yeah, well, remember, you want it to actually blend in with the background. You don't want it being too way out of place. Otherwise, it will look like it stands out. Alright, so once we have that done, we are done with our chip. Again, you don't want to have the name right here if it says Muramasa. If you want, you can just type in the name yourself and just rotate it sideways, but I'm just going to copy the chip capacity from down here. Since this one's a little bit skewed, we don't want to have a little bit of blue missing, so we're just going to copy this. So let's copy the whole thing, highlight it with the toolbox. And say copy. But you make sure you highlight the right layer first. You're probably only working with one layer, so just click on the layer with your image, and then just do edit, copy when that's selected, and then go over to your battle chip right here, and we're going to make a new layer for this. We're going to call this name, I guess, whatever. Oops. Remember, whenever you make a new layer, you gotta check these options. We're gonna do transparency. Alright, let's do paste. Remember, if you want to paste it in, hit Control Z if you want to do that. If you want to paste it in, just highlight where you want it to go and press Control V. Now make sure you paste it in the right spot. And as you can see, it's a little bit off, so it shouldn't be a big problem, but if you want to, you can just go to color, brightness, contrast, and make it match up better if you're copying and pasting. Alright, and there we go. This probably doesn't actually have a chip capacity of 8. This is just for an example, or if you don't really care the chip capacity, what the chip capacity says. Alright, so now we have our battle chip done. The most important thing you need to do is make sure you have this entire image as is before you print. And you may say, I only want to print one chip, or I only want to print 2 chips. Okay, well in that case what you want to do is just cover everything else with white. But you need to have the image at the exact same size it is right now. So to mask off everything else so you don't waste a bunch of ink, just highlight the only things you want. If you want to do 2 chips, just highlight those. If you want to add a chip, let's say over here, just make sure this is highlighted, hold down Shift, and you'll see this plus. Then you can highlight another chip you want to print out. And then you'll have only the ones you want to print out highlighted. If you don't want to do that, you can just highlight one. Now I only have one highlighted because I pressed Control Z. And next thing you'll want to do is do select, invert, and then you're going to make a new layer. If you have something, yeah, okay. When you paste things in, you have to do Control Z. Sorry, not Control Z. When you paste things in like this, you have to anchor them down. Otherwise, they're not part of that same layer. Alright, so like I was saying before, once you have it, what you wanted to mask off highlighted, and you have no anchored, and you have no floating layers, the next thing you want to do is invert the selection, like I said before. Invert it once. So you're going to make a new layer, and we're going to call this new layer mask. And we're going to flip this over so it's white, or if you can just click here and then pick the color white if you want. It has to be perfectly white. And then just go ahead and fill it in. And see what happens is if you don't invert your selection, you won't be able to fill it in. So like I said before, you have to invert selection, then you should be able to fill it in. And then boom, you'll only be printing what you want to have printed. There you go. One other thing I forgot to mention is you may want to actually be able to print out the back of your battle chip, so you may want to mask that off too. If you already made your mask and you want to add something else to be masked off, or so something else to not be masked off, just go ahead and hide your mask layer by clicking the little eyeball, then select what you want to have printed, aka the back of the battle chip, and then just go ahead and go back, turn your mask back on. Make sure you have it selected by clicking on the mask layer, and then just press the delete key. And then boom, look, now you have both the front and the back visible, and they will be printed. Now what you want to do is go ahead and print it. Here's how you print it. You go File, and you do Page Setup. Make sure it's set to letter. That's the type of paper we're printing. And also make sure it's set to portrait. So Page Setup, letter. Since the page is facing like that, means portrait. You don't want landscape, you want portrait. Then you go to File and Print, and Then it should pop up a box, which it did on a whole different monitor, so let me move that over. Then his super important stuff. Go to image settings, and the first thing you want to do is absolutely make sure that you do this, otherwise your image will come out the wrong size. Ignore page margins. Now just keep pressing up until you get 8.5 by 11, and there you go. Now you just go ahead and click print. Once you click print, it will print everything that you have selected. Here's a preview, and it will print your chips to the actual size. From there, you can move on with the first video, and you'll be able to keep following along. So sorry this video was a little bit long, but I hope this helped you guys print out your images for your battleships, and I'll see you back in the other video. Bye.